Hey guys, welcome back to the bar. Dr. Drunk, aka here. With a, I don't know, this is just an Udaloi double feature of a random chimp event that happened on server one night. I'm fairly certain that Tide Pods and Mario and myself had been sitting in voice chat and screwing around and just decided we were going to go do something remarkably and utterly stupid. Because, what the hell, it was like late night and I think it was in between, may have been before clan battle season, I don't remember. I believe this replay is from patch 1010. In fact, I think it has to be from patch 1010 because Calm Water mod is still working effectively. Since patch 1011, the Calm Water mod has inexplicably been relatively non-functional and causing some really weird graphical and highlighting glitches. Seems like ever since they changed the water textures and the water modeling, Calm Water mod has done some really, really weird things, at least in the mod station version. I don't know if about the Adslanes version. I don't run Adslanes or not. Now, speaking of stupid things to do and random chimp events happening, me deciding to shoot the side of an island was probably a dumb thing to do. Let's be honest. No point in not giving away your position to the entirety of the team. Granted, they would have seen us soon enough, but I guess it does give us some information on the position of that yikes div, and we kind of know what to deal with here. Suffice to say, Mario and I decide, that Tashkent's being kind of an ass, and we want to just make sure that he has as much fun as possible, so we inexplicably open up on him with no support from anybody else, because our Soyuz is taking a pleasure cruise, our Buffalo is doing Buffalo things, and Tide Pods is probably having a snack of Tide Pods behind the island back there, but I digress. As I mentioned, this was just a bunch of us sitting in the server and deciding that a random chimp event was incoming, so don't expect dramatic gameplay here. More likely just expect stupid gameplay, because that seems to be more of the MO lately. Player number 3, the Udaloi, enters the match and has decided, you know what, I'm gonna try and play with these guys. He decides to smoke up, and I think at this point I decide, I probably should try to go dark, considering can't spot him, and I have 2 Russians shooting at me, and nobody likes being shot by the Soviets, to be very honest. I haven't lost a lot of health, but I really haven't done a lot in trade either, so we can talk about uselessness and being completely worthless. We do have a nice little cuddle puddle happening around D4, which is not unsurprising in this day and age and this kind of meta. Cuddle puddles are basically your bog standard play for any kind of higher tier game. I don't know if it's the introduction of submarines to randoms. I don't know if it's just generalized bad play on the part of large portions of the player base, but having a game that isn't full of generalized brain-dead stupidity is an extreme rarity. It's incredibly difficult to find a game where you can honestly say that this was well played and everybody played to some significantly higher ability. Tashkent and the Son Louis out here are going to be a royal pain in the ass. They're going to be an annoyance. At this point, I decide I'm utterly sick and tired of both of their bullshit. I don't like their little icon on the side of the team listing, and I think it's time for them both to die. Tashkent having maybe 1/3 of a brain cell, has decided that he's going to run away. The Saint Louis, having probably half of a brain cell, has decided he wants to do the same. However, he is a squishy little French ship, and squishy little French ships are very vulnerable to Russian high explosives. And also, while he may be fast, I am just as speedy if I need to be. Having Mario and Tide Pods pushing straight through our cap, with a Soyuz and a Buffalo behind them, it's now time to just laugh and say, fuck you, I'm going to kill you. This St. Louis needs to die. Excuse me, St. Louis. It is a tier 9, it's not a tier 3 chungus of an American cruiser. He's even running the blue, is that Riviera blue camo or whatever the hell it is? Either way, the guy has a nice camo. When I see a nice camo, that generally means I want to make sure that he has as much possible fun as is humanly feasible, and generally send him back to port so that he can reflect on his choices. Yes, I'm going to chase this guy. I'm going to chase this guy for the tune of probably 25,000 damage. Just because he annoyed me by shooting at me a few times, and I have a grudge against him, so I am going to make his life miserable. I believe that was Cool Ranch that just slapped the shit out of him. Missouri IAP doesn't really give a crap about St. Louis' spaced armor. Break his steering, we force him to repair. He really has no choice in that matter, because if he doesn't repair, he dies. So we set him on fire. Oh, glorious day. You just had a wonderful time. Your parting shot ain't going to do shit. Thank you, and have fun. Enjoy your time back in port. Now, if you look at the minimap, you can see there is some kind of stupidity happening in the middle. I think there's a Riga, there's a Ruprecht, I think there's even an Iowa in there. There's just so much shit in there. And at this point, Mario was saying, you know what, fuck it, I just feel like going and taking their lunch money. So, what does Apollo Emilio do best? Apollo Emilio takes lunch money. We bounce off the tail of the Buffalo just for fun, to see what we can do to his paint, which is absolutely nothing, because Wargaming and their infinite wisdom remove team damage, haha. Bear this in mind, Mario's on 15,000 hit points. That is a full health Riga in the middle, that is a half health Prince Ruprecht, and that is a full health Iowa. Bear this in mind with what you are about to see. And mostly full health, actually not full health at this point, but a mostly full health Riga, a half health Prince Ruprecht, and a full health Iowa. That's the equivalent of probably, 160,000 hit points sitting in that channel, just waiting for all of the fun and games to accrue right now. Of course, Buffalo's not in a place to spot that, so he just torpedoes the Ruprecht. And you just saw the Riga's health bar effectively run to 0. He torpedoes and guns down a nearly full health Riga for a double strike. And as I recall at this point, he's asking, why am I still alive? Question, why is he still alive? Because in general, the player base is filled with a large spectrum of Muppets. People who do not understand the base concept of the game, and groups like this that decide that pushing 3 ships up the middle in the face of Apollo Emilio is probably your best decision in life. Ha ha, here's a thought, it's probably not. Granted, we did trade Apollo Emilio for 2 ships, but, I mean, that's kind of what Apollo Emilio does best, is just trade life for ships. I don't know what else you would consider Apollo Emilio's purpose in life is. It's certainly not to be a game-changing, effective destroyer. It's generally closer to a light cruiser anyway, but again, just proof of the matter that the average player in the game believes that, hey, I'm pretty much as good as Flambass, and I can just shove my giant fat American battleship right up the mid, or I can shove my tier 9 German battleship up the mid because lol secondaries and torpedoes. Frankly, nobody gives a shit. So, we have an Iowa in the gap. Whatever shall we do? Well, it's in Iowa. It's big, it's fat, it's slow, it's stupid, and it's in a tight, small channel. That's what she said. 40,000 health Iowa. He's going to sit here and get farmed by a Johann DeWitt, a Missouri, and potentially a Brindisi and a Musashi if things go according to plan. And instead of deciding to push out, this guy really displays a modicum of intelligence and thinks, well, hey, maybe if I push out of there, I'm probably going to die. How very perceptive of him. Interesting that self-preservation has taken hold and he's decided maybe I shouldn't push out of there. However, he's an Iowa player. One can always generally assume that an Iowa player is rather dumb because, lol, everybody thinks the Iowa is such a fantastic ship. And it is a fantastic ship if you don't play it like a chimpanzee. AKA trying to get your rear guns off in a tight channel in front of a destroyer. Well done, sir. I appreciate your sacrifice. Thank you for the additional damage and the additional kill. At this point, Mario's laughing in chat, and we're reviling in the fact that we essentially stole the lunch money of everybody on that flank, including everybody in the channel, because lols, you're not Flambass. Imagine that. Now, I have two options here. There's an Udaloi on this flank, there's a Tashkent, which has not been spotted for a while, even though we see him shooting in the distance. And Udaloi against a half-health Buffalo and a 60% health Sovietsky Soyuz is not a proposition that is worth chasing because he's not going to live very long. Spoiler alert, if you really needed a spoiler for that. So what are we going to do? We're going to pretend that we are Flambass. We're going to be stupid, and we're going to go down the center channel. Because, you know, why not? Clearly it worked for the other three ships that went down the center channel. We should try it ourselves. What could possibly go wrong? Of course, we find the Tashkent. He's doing Tashkent things, I guess. I think at this point we were asking if he was stuck on the island, which he appears to be stuck on the island. He may or may not be actually moving backwards. I can't really tell. Mario couldn't really tell either. It just appears that he is essentially trying to farm down the Buffalo. You know what the funniest thing about this is, though? That it's a Buffalo, and the Tashkent's likely not going to kill him, and if the Tashkent decides to come forward, which he does, and he's not looking at me, we're going to play which Russian boat is actually better, and this is a pretty easy one because Udaloi wins every time. And just to add insult to injury, we perma-break one of his torp tubes in the process. Lol, you deserve it. You were a pain in the ass. Your div mate burned out long ago and was probably sitting there asking you to go back to port because he wanted to play another game. And I take his lunch money and I comment my lunch money. Of course, somebody in chat here decides that they need to try and be grammar wizard about this and is going to comment on it. I'm very confused by him. This is what happens when you put a bunch of us in Discord and invite a random chimp event to occur. You get stupid things like this happening. So we're going to try and cap. We figure, yeah, we got enough time to cap. Not a problem. We should be able to add to our... Holy shit, the Brindisi appears right fucking there. And he does know how to aim. Not that salvo, but he does know how to aim because Spoiler alert, he's going to do really unpleasant things to me. One of these salvos? I don't remember which one. He's... Also, this is really not how you Brindisi, because... Actually, I misremembered that. I think I said, ow, that hurt you, butthole. This is not how you Brindisi by just backing up. Generally, you are not very agile in reverse, but I suppose, you know, I guess this was a good idea. I don't really know. Once again, it's lols at what is about to happen. There's one, there's two, and thank you, sir, for your sacrifice. I do appreciate it. Somehow that ends up being a devastating strike. I'm not sure how it does, but warning, if you are seizure prone, look away now, because at this point, I believe I was laughing so hard, I basically lose control of the mouse for a moment. May or may not have been having a stroke at this point. I'm not entirely sure, but we took over points. The game ends. Ends up being 124,000 damage and 4 kills and 500,000 credits, which is very reasonable. 6 torpedo hits for Udaloi is actually pretty good. Generally not something I tend to end up with. 2,653 base XP. And Mario, who had been dead for approximately 9 minutes, somehow manages to come in second on the team, or third on the team, which, no kidding. Next game, we decided that a full ape-out was indeed necessary, and we switched to Udaloi Mogador, a reminiscent of the Tier 9 clan battle season, where these kind of divs were, these comps were pretty prevalent. I haven't had any coffee yet this morning, bear with me. Pretty prevalent, honestly. In fact, add another Mogador would be more fun. But, honestly, this was relatively commonplace. Tide Pod's actually pulling out the Epic's camo. Very good choice, sir. I wholeheartedly approve. And of course, then there's Mario with his, I think, Type 2 or whatever the hell it is, Type 20. And yes, more indications that we had been drinking and just chimping out. No idea what he was doing, and if you're watching the video, I apologize for his smooth-brained questions. Of course, the Alaska, a division of DDs, awesome. I don't know if this was supposed to be sarcastic. I presume that it wasn't supposed to be sarcastic, but it came off as the time. It came off at the time as being just a relatively sarcastic function. And in chat, of course, a triple uni div aping tonight is lols. To be fully honest, I expected us to do almost nothing in this game. In fact, in this case, I fat finger my smoke. I was going for my speed boost, but again, alcohol consumption is at an all-time high these days, so I fat finger it, and I basically say, well, good luck. Here, you can farm all you want. Here's a Seattle, boys, wearing American camo. First salvo fire. Haha, very funny. This Seattle is going to be endless entertainment in the opening parts of this game. To be very honest, this Seattle is probably going to have the time of his life. And that's true in no uncertain terms, because this guy is going to chadly feed us a princely sum of damage. He takes the island position like any good Seattle would. He's already repped a single fire, so he's probably going to be in a little hurt here with a second fire set on him. And of course, Mario is deciding that there's no time like the present to make him rethink his stance on life. We have a Musashi up here who's going to also provide us later entertainment. Just you wait, it should be lots of fun. There's also a Groningen sitting in proximity of the Friesland. This is we're looking at it, we're going, oh, you know what'd be really funny is if the Groningen smoked up the Seattle and they, Well, ain't that pretty shitty? Of course they would do that. How dare you use team play, sir? Team play is illegal and should not be allowed. So, of course, the three of us, like a swarm of angry bees, just decide, you know, fuck it, who's the closest target that's actually spotted? And then the Alaska comes through with probably the most clutch radar of the decade. This Groningen is caught out in the open. Alaska radar lasts a long time. This guy has 16,000 health. Watch how fast he just decides to disappear and go back to port. He had a blast. He had a great time. If this had been clan battles and the focus fire that I'm seeing now had been going on, I would have been absolutely thrilled. Mario steals the first blood from me, because of course he does. That's what Mario does. The Seattle has decided he's going to sit behind a rock and he's going to have a little bit of a good time, but then he realizes, no, hold on, I can actually come out and I can probably start shooting things because radar only lasts for a certain amount of time. But hold on, there appears to be a smoke cloud here. Somebody smogged up the back of the map. Östergötland torpedoes and the smog are still a thing for sure. For some reason, I'm not realizing that I'm not locked on to anything because, again, alcoholism at an all-time high. And the Seattle decides, you know what's a great idea? Let's come out broadside in front of approximately 7 ships. Because we have a nice cuddle puddle back here. There's a Baiji, there's an Alaska, a Soyuz, another Alaska, 3 DDs. You know, seems like a great idea. Let's come out in front of all those ships. Because clearly Seattle is, you know, the best cruiser in the world and nothing can be done to it. In this case, we have 19,000 damage. There's an Östergötland fumbling around the cap. And I think one of us at this point said there's nothing left for us to do here except just go ape our way directly into 2 battleships. So what happens when you tell a bunch of morons to decide to just go ape their way into a bunch of battleships? Well, the bunch of morons goes and apes their way into a bunch of battleships. DD's capping? No, DD's don't cap in this meta. What are we talking about? This is the capping in 2021 is the realm of cruisers and battleships. Don't kid yourself. When a cruiser or a battleship caps, your team wins. Destroyers are only for farming damage. Case in point, there's a Missouri. It's time to farm the Missouri for a little while. Oh look, he's running Halsey. Oh look, he shoots at the Alaska. Oh look, the Alaska just got aped by a bunch of American heavy armor-piercing shells, and he's going to sell broadside to a Musashi, while he was able to find his radar button. No idea what he has his radar button bound to, probably Y or something like that. While he was able to find his Y key, he is for some reason not able to find his A or D keys so that he can turn away from this mess, and he's going to bravely go where no man has gone before, and that is back to port. In the meantime, I'm out to farm PR, and I've decided, screw this, I'm not going to push directly into 4 battleships, we're going to try and play somewhat intelligently. Imagine that. There's no reason to play intelligently, you say, because this is how you farm PR. No, it really isn't, because if you're dead, you can't farm PR. So, we take a few shots on the Östergötland, we don't get anywhere with it. Oh look, the Musashi is dead stationary, and I've got plenty of range, so, you know, I think it's time to introduce him to Oven Chicken's Blue Tracers and let him have some fun getting picked on. Our Alaska has still not figured out that sailing broadside to battleships is a generalized bad idea, as he's still sailing broadside to the Alsace, and therefore gets deleted by said Alsace. Whoever would have seen this coming. In the meantime, the Musashi, he's sailing away. We're going to pick on the Missouri because, very nice ship, comrade. Very nice tracers with Halsey on there. I don't like you, and I want you to go away because you picked on my radar cruiser. So we set him on fire. Just doing fire things and Udaloi things. We set him on fire again. And he does not appear to have a damage control available. Oh, what a shame. I think we'll let that tick away for a while. And of course, we just talked about our Alaska not understanding the concept of the A or D keys, and our Missouri similarly does not either. He decides, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to turn around and I'm just going to start pushing. Good luck to you, sir. I really approve. Not that I honestly care. If you want to feed me more PR, I'm willing to take it. Drunk driving is bad, kids. Don't do that. That includes with ships. Don't drunk drive in your ships. Basically park myself on the island here, trying to get tucked in here so that I can kind of stay dark or have the option to go dark if I need the option to go dark. Because, of course, our Baiji is deciding to throw his ship away. Lol. Thank you for extending the game and making sure it doesn't end too quickly. In this case, we're going to just shuffle out of here, drop some torpedoes, and we're going to pray that the Musashi doesn't decide to obliterate me. Haha, I laugh at your puny American shells. Good luck, sir. He's a the 9-5. I can't really smoke up here. But now I have a friend. Sir, I brought friends to this party. You apparently did not. We're just going to continue to farm and set fires because it's always fun to make sure that everybody has the best possible time that they can. Welcome to the barbecue, my buddy. There are also water dicks coming. Good luck to you as well with the water dicks. Sounds like a lot of fun. Fortunately, our friend does not manage to find the battleship size gap and feeds us an arsonist as well as a general offensive. Haha, generally offensive. Of course, that is the running gag in our Discord, is that battle is not general offensive, it's generally offensive, considering how toxic a division like this generally is. We're up to 97k in a kill. Of course, we, lost the kill on our drone again earlier, or the Seattle, because, well, Muppet's gonna Muppet, and kill's gonna kill. We are, however, going to pursue and sack drill this Musashi. This guy's having a great time. He's having a fantastic time. He's being chased by a Russian DD doing approximately 42 knots and a French DD doing about the same. And the Musashi can manage all of, 27 knots, maybe 28 and a half with a speed flag. Good luck to you, sir. You are in for an absolute treat. High explosive spam is not at all broken, right, Wargaming? It's just plenty of fun. Bearing in mind there is actually a Ostjotland out here that we have to be somewhat cognizant of. We have to think about things here a little bit. That and the fact that our team, for some bizarre reason, is having a beer in spawn chasing a single Yugamo. I don't really have words for what's going on the other side of the map. Frankly, this was a PR farming exercise, and it was thus far successful. 118,000 and counting. Especially with a Mogador helping me out here, drawing a lot of fire off, and we're just basically going to crisscross each other's paths here, and we're just gonna pester this Musashi. In fact, the Musashi has essentially given up and decided, you know what, I'd rather shoot at something that's about 15 kilometers away than shoot at the two destroyers that are, sub 10k. Because, lols, I'm not going to hit them, and even if I hit them, it's not going to kill them, so this is the equivalent of basically poking a honeybee's nest and then just standing there with your fly hanging open and your junk hanging out, letting them sting you all over the place. Really, there's nothing you can do. It's humiliating and it's annoying. Ha ha. Our Alsace dies to the Carnot. Realize there is almost a full health Neptune there. That could be problematic. In fact, I mentioned something to Mario that, hey, there's a full health Neptune there. You might want to be careful about that. And I think his comment was, fuck it, boys, I'm going for it. Looking at the scores being what they are, going, fuck it, boys, we're going for it. Oh, shit. He runs into the Ostjotland, and things are probably not going to end well for him here. In fact, spoiler alert, they're not going to end well. Mario pulls his Confederates right before Mario, disappears from the face of the earth. Because that's kind of what happens when, you run into a Neptune at close range and an Ostjotland at close range. Things don't generally end well for you. I'm looking at the map saying this, yeah, probably shouldn't be doing that either because high, that really didn't feel good. The Neptune is, of course, does have some pretty floaty shells, so I can probably smoke hide and stay alive, but he does some pretty heavy damage, honestly, because, hey, it's a Neptune. The Mogador does kill the Östergötland, and the Ugamo somehow kills our Alaska B. The Ugamo's in so far in our backfield that he's actually in between B and C cap at this point. We set a fire on the Musashi, who's continuing to have fun. Like, he's having an absolute blast. We finally burn him down. And now we have to think about how we can actually not throw this game away. Let's be honest, we're not going to throw this game away. Why would I host a game like this, especially on a double feature of us throwing it away? There is a Carnot, there is a Neptune. We're going to try and go fishing with widespreads because you never know, players sometimes aren't paying attention and widespreads happen. I mean, it sounds some kind of advertisement for, you know, a penicillin shot or something like that. And venom goes down, suddenly we're even on ships. That's generally not a good idea, but, well, we still have a... What is he in? He's in a Mogador. We still have a Mogador. We still have a nearly full health Udaloi. I can't see the health of other ships, so I don't even know. But it can't be too bad. Point is being capped. Gee, I wonder where the Ugamo went. I'm guessing this is a reload boost Ugamo. I don't know if he's reload or smoke, but regardless of what he is, he decides he's not going to fire at me. I get my Confederate, I break one of his torpedo tubes. I'm trying to stay in front of him so he can't bring his rear guns around, which he just stops and backs up in the cap for some reason. And why, I don't understand. That's beyond me, but it is what it is. Now we don't have a smoke, and that's a Neptune that's smoking up to try and farm us, which is generally not a good idea. But we have this cap. This cap is safe. Their Pommern does kill our Drake, so we're not generally in any danger of throwing this, I say, as the... So he has dies to the Fletcher. We're not generally in any danger of throwing this. Shouldn't be in any danger of throwing this. And as I say in chat, you all had one job, and it was basically not to die. Haha. Very funny. Imagine a team of random players not dying. As it stands, we're at 151k damage with a Confederate and Arsonist. We have generally offensive, and I think it's Strike Team, basically saying that we've killed half the enemy. Is Strike Team the one that's we kill half the enemy team? Or is that... I don't remember. I think Strike Team... 1, 2, 3, 4... I think Strike Team is you have 6 kills, I believe. I could be wrong. Whatever. Regardless, we got another medal. Neptune is going to go for Bravo. I can't take a Neptune in a stand-up fight, one-on-one. Tide Pods kills a Carnot with guns, so that gives us coordinated attack and yet another Strike Team. So maybe it is the 20... Maybe Strike Team is 20% of the hit points for the enemy team. But that gives us a coordinated attack, which is pretty goddamn nice. Can't argue with the coordinated attack as well, so... Getting a nice haul of 6 medals. Neptune, got him. Neptune is, of course, our Iowa die, so suddenly the win condition is just hold on to a cap. We haven't seen the Fletcher in weeks either, so... You know, that entered my head as this was going on that we haven't seen that Fletcher in a long time. And would have to assume that he's going for Charlie, but... Can't be guaranteed that he's going for Charlie. I mean, 2.5 minutes. They don't have time to catch us on points. We just have to stay alive. But again, remember we've been drinking, and this was essentially a random chimping. So we're going to just try and do a haha cheeky reset. Eat my shorts. We get 1, and we're just going to get some more salvos out here. If we take damage, we take a little damage. It's not going to hurt. But we fully reset Bravo. And he's not going to get very far with that. Actually, spoiler alert. I think he does get Bravo, but it doesn't really matter because at this point, there's no possible way they can win on caps. Each cap is worth 36 points per cap per minute, which means you're entitled to 108 points per minute if you have every cap. And this is random, so caps are 60 seconds. This is not like clan battles where your caps take 30 seconds to snag. And let me tell you, that is the longest 30 seconds in your life, especially when you are radared and you're about to be under fire. Blind shots here, trying to reset everything. Not able to reset things because can't get over the islands, can't target the area which he would be sitting in. But, you know, we're being kind of assholes and we think, hey, this would be really fun just to reset him and piss him off. Unfortunately, we're not able to do so. 991 points. We're going to win on points in any moment here. Enemy team gets B. We got a minute 25 left. No problem. 997 and oh, God damn it, Fletcher. You couldn't just let it happen, could you? He starts shooting at Tide Pods. We end up with a Mega Confederate shoulder to shoulder. He does stop. He smokes. At this point, I laugh and just say, 997, fuck it. There's only a minute left. I'm just going to get out of here. There's really no point in bothering. The Neptune's going to come through the gap. I would prefer not to be deleted. That'd be probably the highlight of my day, would be to remain alive. We'll drop torpedoes, and we'll just decide to motor on out of here. Because our friendly neighborhood Neptune is going to be coming to invite us to a neighborhood party. Not the kind of party you generally want to be in. And of course, my lunch money. That's my lunch money. Give me my lunch money. 26 more seconds, we're going to watch torpedoes go by, and nothing's going to happen. Nothing's going to happen, and nothing's going to happen. I figure we'll try and get some resets, because reset ribbons are always fun. We only have 11 at this point. It would be nice to have a few more, but we're not going to get a few more of them. Spoiler alert. Neptune shows up, and just to be cheeky, I'm going to take a pot shot, knowing that my shells won't hit, neither will his. Actually, my shells do hit. But that's the end of the game. 160,000 damage. We have 3 kills, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 medals. We pretty much took the entire whole of them. And not bad for a random chimp event. Guys, we placed 1, 2, 3 on the team with 7 total kills out of 9 possible. We play most of these games on stream at twitch.tv/DrDrunk, Head on over, give us a follow, and join in the fun. Until next time, guys, the bar is closing. It is last call. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Good night.